We need to survive menopause, right? Get through it in one piece without killing our family members or getting divorced or
Right?
right? Or yeah, I mean, this is serious stuff, right?
The stats are staggering for women in perimenopause. The divorce rate is super high, and unfortunately, the suicide rate is super high.
Menopause, it's like weight gain, mood swings, sleeplessness.
For me, it
hot
seemed
flashes,
like it just was.
like, you know, those are the symptoms. If you have any of those, it could be menopause. I literally feel like I'm going crazy and there's nobody that understands this. From the minute that I open my eyes, feel like I would be battling my own body. It's like a roller coaster. It is a nightmare. It's like living inside a nightmare. At one stage I thought, am I going crazy?
If you have these feelings, please reach out to me. We can help.
Welcome to M-powerTV, where we leave a legacy of hope through conversations that uplift, educate, and inspire. Listen to incredible stories of people who overcame challenges and barriers, celebrate victories, learn from setbacks, and push forward together.
And you would hear all this torture, and then they would shoot.
Want to be empowered? Let's go. Subscribe for more and get this book now.
Hello and welcome to M-powerTV. My name is Lorna Gring, and in studio today we have Darby Kohler. She is a specialized menopause coaching specialist. Darby, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, a certified coach, right, for menopause. This is interesting because you think like for thousands of years, women have gone through menopause, right? And we just think, I mean, what's up with that? Like you just go through it, suck it up, be brave, like nobody ever says anything about it. But yet now it seems to be quite a hot topic. Yes. And I am so happy about it because I just started getting like some of these symptoms and I thought I was literally losing my mind.
Yes.
So this is wonderful. Okay, so retract, right? Because I know you had this huge job and tell me, how did you get into coaching for menopause? Yeah, let's start there because that's a really interesting story.
So let's see. When I ended up moving back to Pennsylvania from Florida, I guess that's when everything started to kind of fast forward into the menopause. I had gone through perimenopause and just had debilitating hot flashes and mood swings and weight gain. And it just was crazy. And I was like, okay, this is just something, it's happening, right?
Yeah, because you had this stressful job, right? Like this six-figure, you were working with huge contracts.
Yes.
And in the middle of a presentation in front of really important people.
Just a big meltdown. It was awful.
Right?
It was awful, yeah.
That is crazy. And I mean, previously you used to be doing this and you used to be fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And doing it with a smile rather than, you know, a sweat rag.
So what happened? Like, how did you realize like this is menopause?
So essentially, when I went back to Pennsylvania, I was given a huge territory. And I felt like I was just driving aimlessly, you know, into the day. And finally, I just went home to my husband and I said, I cannot do this anymore. And I am going to get into health and wellness. I'm going to get my certification for personal training. And so all of this is happening. You know, I got a full-time job at a local gym and had really great clients. And I am still, you know, kind of suffering in silence and not knowing. I guess the first big red flag was I had crazy nosebleeds, and I ended up passing out, going to the emergency room. I had anemia from the nosebleeds. I was like 0.004 away from having to have a blood transfusion because of the anemia. So life-threatening. And this was in the beginning, so this was probably 18, and I ended up kind of transitioning from the gym into promoting physical therapy. So it was still health and wellness, but it was still promoting movement, body, muscles, and just, you know, a better way, a healthier way of living. And
so back up. Is the nosebleeds, is that a symptom of menopause? Or
So
like, where
allergies
did that
are.
come from? Allergies.
Allergies. You
and that
can,
caused the nosebleeds.
as you get older, you can contract allergies. And so I didn't know, I'd end up having these nosebleeds that would like last forever. And I felt like it was forever. It was a lot of blood that I would lose at a time. And I went to the local provider, and he's like, he said something, Lorna, I just was like appalled. He's like, quit picking your nose. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, excuse me, you're talking to a grown woman here. So, and I ended up...
They usually just give you like 4 or 5 symptoms, like menopause, it's like weight gain, mood swings, sleeplessness.
For me, it
hot flashes,
seemed like it just was...
Like, you know, those are the symptoms. If you have any of those, it could be menopause, suck it up, be brave.
Right.
But you're like getting anemic from nosebleeds.
Nosebleeds,
because of allergies. And you're the second person on my studio, in studio, that had huge life-threatening things happen to her. And it was actually due to, it started with menopause. Her body changed so much. And that she got allergic to certain foods. And she almost lost her life.
It was crazy. And then I had serious heart palpitations. And I just didn't know, you know, maybe it was from the anxiety, and that came with it, and the mood swings. It was like, what is happening? So, and here I am, personal trainer, working out, doing my thing, and then wham! All of a sudden, I get all these symptoms, and I end up taking on a full-time position that was, again, territory, which I absolutely loved, and going back into the gym. I was a little deconditioned. I ended up tearing my meniscus. I ended up having to have a full knee replacement.
Oh my goodness.
So this was from an accident, sports accident way back in high school. But the biggest thing is the recovery for me was a lot longer. It was a mental anguish. So it really brought on the symptoms of menopause, like full force. The depression with, you know, not being able to move and, you know, do what I love to do because of the recovery. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to deal with this. I don't know how. My mom was really not, the conversational topic of, you know, let's talk about menopause, or, hey, let's talk about sex. Oh, wait, let's talk about your menstrual cycle. None of that.
People don't talk about these
No,
things
you don't. You don't, especially that generation, right? So, and that's okay, because, you know, if we don't go through some of these things, we don't learn, right? We don't become our own advocate. And I think that, so the advocacy part really started to build momentum, because I ditched that provider. I thought, you know what, I don't need that. I'm going to go to another one that specializes in it. And towards the end of my time in Pennsylvania, I actually had a decent OB, but they really didn't talk about menopause. So fast forward, we come back to Florida. I take on another, you know, high sales position, and the hot flashes, the anxiety, just everything, crushing it, you know, it was a whirlwind. And the weight gain, oh my gosh. So up in Pennsylvania, I was at my best weight, and I'm transitioning, and I'm gaining like five pounds like a year. And I'm like, oh goody, I have something else to lose now, you know, something else to make happen. And so
I think the worst part of you know, menopause, and what they don't really say in the books, is when they say mood swings and depression. It seems like it's just something, you know, on paper. But the mood swings that I experienced it was something beyond what I ever felt in my life. Like I would wake up, and I would, from the minute that I opened my eyes, feel like I would be battling my own body. Like I would be consistently irritated. then I would be feeling so depressed, feeling like not in the mood for life or anything. Then I feel like, oh yay, I feel great. And it's like a roller coaster.
Right.
And so you're trying to bottle all these up inside because you have to go through your day, you have to interact with your family, with people. But it is a nightmare. It's like living inside a nightmare.
Yep. And you don't know how.
And you don't know what's happening. Like, am I going, at one stage I thought, am I going crazy? Like, I literally feel like I'm going crazy and there's nobody that understands this.
Right.
I'm not speaking to anybody because I'm not, like, I don't know.
Because you're embarrassed.
Should I go and see a psychologist? Should I get some medication? Like, what is going on with me? And it was only until I spoke to someone actually as the studio guest, and they were starting to speak about menopause and, you know, the emotional part of what's happening.
Yes.
And I was like, because now I could put the two together, because I was getting the hot flashes at night. I'm like, all right. And now I could start seeing, the weight gain, the hot flashes, slowly I could put it together.
Right.
What can women do when they start feeling these symptoms? Because, you know, it can be easily mistaken for something else. You had a meniscus torn, you were feeling that, you were frustrated because you were at home.
Right.
But you were also going through menopause. So sometimes we can put it through as something else. It's life related, right? But actually, when you're in a certain age of your life, it could be menopause.
Yep. So every woman's going to go through menopause. And it's usually the late 30s to the late 40s, and then average age of actually hitting menopause is 51 right now. Okay. So let me first tell you the definition of menopause is 365 days after your last menstrual cycle. Then on the 366th day, you are officially in menopause. And then the day after, 367, you are postmenopause. So figure that out. It's one day. But it's all about menopause.
But that really means nothing, right?
Right,
like,
exactly.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. But it's just the chronological order of it,
because
right?
that's what they put on paper.
Right, that's what they put on paper.
But like the actual living of it,
right? The emotional part of it
is like a whole different story,
right? So it wasn't until a few years ago, you know, at this point. The Lux Center, which is actually my sister's company. She's a licensed mental health counselor, a doctorate of organized business and things like that. So she's a PhD. She actually started with the mental side of it and the mind side of it. And so when I started Reset and Renew, she's like, hey, I would really like to collaborate and help the women with the issues of their mental stasis. With the her tools are the CBT, are the clinical hypnosis, and I'll tell you about that in a minute.
What is CBT?
So that's a cognitive behavior therapy. It's a tool that she will use to help relieve the anxiety, just give you relief and let you know that you're not alone. And she'll give you tools to actually like work through some of those feelings. The clinical hypnosis is a really much of a game changer for the menopausal woman suffering from the hot flashes. So Dr. Gary Elkins was part of a study that was submitted to the Menopause Society, and that's where I get a lot of my research from, because everything that I do is evidence-based. Everything Leanne does is evidence-based. And so Dr. Gary Elkins actually has a this study about clinical hypnosis and actually relieving hot flashes by 74%.
Oh, wow.
No drugs, no injections, no pills, nothing. It's all clinical hypnosis.
That's amazing.
And it's evidence-based, and it's a proven study to be assistant with the hot flashes, with the yes, the hot flashes. I feel like I'm having a hot flash right now.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it is. And actually we had a really great conversation with Dr. Elkins. He has an app that he has developed. But Leanne is actually a certified clinical hypnosis as well. So yeah, it's pretty neat how I can watch, help my clients with their nutrition, with their movement, and with their overall well-being of habit building. And then she's able to help with the mind and just the general attitude, because your mindset is everything.
Yes.
So when you're having a hot flash, like right now, I'm going to think of cool waters. I'm going to think of ocean breezes, and it's actually going to bring down my inner core temperature. And so that just the calmness of it, and understanding that it doesn't have to be this way. It will pass. But there's tools out there to help you manage them in a more profound way than there was in the past.
I love that. And just to focus on that, because it's easy to focus on the anxious side of something, and to, if we're not speaking out about it, to go like, oh, this is terrible, I'm getting a hot flash, and to be all what's the word, like self-conscious about it, and that creates more anxiety, and that creates even more anxiousness and hot flashes and more anxiety. Whereas now you can focus on calmness and cool water, and immediately there's just a different atmosphere. I love that.
Yes.
It's such a simple thing that everybody can do, right? And you can do it in the moment.
Yes.
That's a really beautiful and neat trick, right?
Yes.
So your business is coaching women that's going through menopause, right?
Yep.
So what kind of coaching do you do? How does that work? Do they come in for dietary coaching per se, or where do you meet them?
I meet them where they are. That's a great question, because I want to meet every person where they are, and whether they're working with an OB that is menopausal, that's part of the Menopause Society, which is very important to understand the reason why, or they're in need of information to get them to that person. So I'm going to work with where they're at, and having them fill out. It's a pretty detailed form of all their supplements, their foods, their everything. And, from that, we're going to build a better plan that's an easier, holistic, sustainable way. And that's the biggest thing, is making sure it's sustainable.
Is that more towards dietary? Are you talking more diet, or where?
Everything.
You're saying a plan for sustainability.
Yes. So we're going to work on their nutrition, making sure it's hormone friendly, because that has to do with a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the hot flashes. There are gut issues that you happen to come across when, if you're not lucky, there are some women that are actually lucky that don't have gut issues.
Yes.
So then we're going to talk about movement, mindful movement, because not every woman is able to have gym access. They're sedentary, they're not used to moving. So I usually give them simple tools when they start with me. They'll get either bands, or they'll get, straps, and we're going to work and getting them moving to the point of being able to do some muscle gains as well, because we are looking to make sure that their future self is being protected, because we talked about that fall.
Yeah, I know you
the bone density.
Yep. Fell. Right?
Yeah. So one of the biggest reasons for the movement, the nutrition, the hydration, is that we are building for a better future. That we aren't landing in a care center before our time, and before our wishes. So that mindful movement with the weight training, better nutrition with a protein plan, a hydration plan, and then the just the overall habit building and making sure that we're journaling it and understanding like how we're feeling, you know, when we are taking into these foods and this different way of life, you know, and what thoughts are going through. So we just meet people where they are. We make sure it's holistic and it's sustainable. And we want to, you know, build a better future and have them thrive through menopause rather than just survive or, you know, the thought process of just suck it up, buttercup, you know, let's move on. That doesn't work.
No, definitely not. Is there certain exercises that's better for women to do when they're going through menopause, like building muscle, like weight training? Is there certain foods that you should be avoiding? Like, you know, what kind of advice would you give for a woman?
That is great. Those are great questions. So weight training is absolutely necessary, but not all women are able to start with that. So that's why the building up to it. And then also, I have a customized app that helps them build up to it.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And then the foods, avoiding processed foods. That is everybody's arch nemesis.
We hear that all the time now, right? Is processed foods. Like that is like poison, really.
It is.
They say sitting is the new smoking.
Right.
And processed foods is like poison, right? It's poison to our bodies. It causes inflammation, right?
Yes.
I'm learning all these things like now.
And then absolutely getting enough water in the day and enough steps in. Walking is a new, it's not new, but it's something that most people aren't doing enough of. So I help them build those habits. And it's just building those habits, and not all at once because it's overwhelming. So
that's interesting. I love what you're saying there. Is like, because that's usually what we start in with the new year, right? We all have this January 1st mentality, like this list of things that we're gonna do in the new year, and then 1 week later we're
not doing
nothing.
It.
Right? Is it because the list is too long?
It may be. You're taking a bigger bite than you can chew. And so
start with one thing.
Yeah.
Have the list of 10, but maybe have one a month, maybe.
Right. And that's where the initial call with me comes in. It's a diagnostic call. They fill out the form and we really dive into the core issue of, okay, are we doing this for your bone density? Are we doing this for your heart? Are we doing this for weight loss? And honestly, the weight loss has a big part to play with the density and the bone density and the cardio portion of it. And then also some of them, like yourself, you just feel like you're going a little, you know, you don't know what direction you're going in. They just need a little support, the resources, and they need support mentally for strengthening. So, and that's where the Lux Center comes into play. They do the mental strengthening.
I love that you're doing this, that you're providing this safe space for women and just the coaching, because you don't have to do it alone, and that in itself is already just bringing that peace of mind, and just speaking out about it, like that helps. Because if I didn't have that conversation with my studio guest, I was literally sitting in front of we were talking about something else. She's got a center, and the conversation of menopause came up, and I was like, it's like a light switch that came on in my head. I'm like, so many things are making sense to me now. And once you get that information, it's like,
you're rewriting your history and understanding a little bit more. But the really neat thing is rewriting that. Now you know how to move forward. With
now you can make a
better
plan.
Decisions.
Because otherwise you're just battling. And I feel like that might be a reason why so many families are falling apart. So many women, you know, go through horrendous circumstances during this age, and they don't understand why, and they think the world is the problem. There's all these issues around, and they don't understand what's going on in their body, and they don't know that there's help.
And that's what.
And it could be as simple as changing a diet. It could be your food that's literally driving you crazy.
But
it all only starts with menopause, because now suddenly your body is just not coping with things that it used to cope with for years.
Right.
It is bizarre.
That would be a good word for it, bizarre. So, but yeah, the stats are staggering for women in perimenopause. The divorce rate is super high. And unfortunately, the suicide rate is super high as well, because they just feel like there's nowhere to turn. And please, if you have these feelings, please reach out to me. I'm on the web. I have all access. I want to talk to you before you make any major decisions. We can help. We are here to support you and, maybe guide you in a different direction, rather than down the proverbial hole.
Yes.
That was, it was an eye opener when, my mom had passed away from a heart condition. That just was like, I need to do this. This is what I am meant to do. And my logo has my mom's marker on it from her piece. And it represents her 4 girls. We're all born in the different seasons. So it was really kind of an ode to her.
I love
so, but she's with us, definitely with us today.
I love it. It's so beautiful that you're doing this. And I think the whole idea behind what you're doing, because we were talking before the show, is so that we can have a beautiful life in our older age.
Yes.
Right? Because, we need to survive menopause, right? Get through it in one piece without killing our family members or getting divorced or...
Right.
Right? Or, this is serious stuff, right?
Yes.
But once you survive that,
right.
You want to age gracefully. You want to enjoy your old age that you worked so hard for to enjoy, right? You don't want to suffer in your old age.
Right.
So
you want to be active.
You want to be active.
You want to have a social life. That's a big thing. And just, you want to thrive. You just don't want to survive. That's a for sure. So
I love that. Thrive, not survive.
That's right.
Darby, thank you so much for joining us in studio
You're
again.
welcome.
Where can people lastly again find you? Just give us your website again.
It's resetandrenewhc.com. So that
Awesome.
is, yes. And then my my mantra is stay calm and pause on.
I love that. And think about the water when you have a hot flush. I love that. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And that is it from me, Lorna Gring and M-powerTV. If you are having any kind of emotional breakdowns and you don't know why, and you're between the ages of 30-something and 50, give Darby a call. Check out her website. It could be menopause and you are not alone. So don't suffer by yourself. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our episodes. We really need you. Comment, say something if you like it. If you don't like it, say something. It's fine. And until next week, goodbye.